Max the hero and his friends defeat the Demon Lord, who vows to come back. 10 years later, the Demon Lord is reborn, but his army is in deep sleep except for his assistant Zenia. Now lacking his old magic powers, he looks like a young androgynous boy. Meanwhile, society has advanced to a modern world. Seeking revenge, the Demon Lord finds Max, only to be disappointed to discover that Max has become a lazy, unemployed man living alone in a small apartment. Max explains that after the Demon Lord's defeat, society no longer needed him, and following some public scandals, he disappeared from the spotlight. The Demon Lord tries to provoke Max by threatening to awaken his army and destroy the world, but Max, who has grown to despise the world that rejected him, has no problem with letting the Demon Lord do as he pleases. Feeling defeated, the Demon Lord leaves, but Max is surprised when he returns, announcing that he will be moving in to train Max and turn him back into a hero while waiting for his own powers to come back so they can have their long-awaited rematch. Curious about Max's daily routine, the Demon Lord disguises himself as a schoolgirl to follow him. He's disappointed to see that Max just drinks and plays with local kids. When some thugs start attacking Max and he doesn't fight back, the Demon Lord puts them to sleep. Despite himself, he starts to respect Max for keeping his cool. Zenia finds the Demon Lord at Max's apartment after he's been missing for 3 days. She's confused about why the Demon Lord is helping Max. Thinking it's best to kill Max, she attacks him but is defeated. Later, she uses Max's shower while the Demon Lord goes shopping. Meanwhile, Zenia accidentally gets drunk and attacks Max again, and their fight spills outside. Before things escalate too much, Zenia is arrested for causing a scene. But Max manages to handle the situation with the police. Max is frustrated when Zenia, instead of going home, rents the apartment next door to stay close to the Demon Lord. Meanwhile, Fred, one of Max's old party members, sees footage of Zenia's public outburst and starts to wonder why Max is involved with a demon. Zenia asks about Leo, another of Max's former party members who left the kingdom to start his own country, the Gamma Republic, which is now at war with the kingdom. Max, angry at the mention of Leo, storms out and is soon ambushed by a reporter. Later, Fred, who is now chief of the Bureau of Magic, arrives at Max's apartment, so the Demon Lord hides in the closet. Fred is worried about the Gamma Republic, explaining that despite its claims, it's really just a group of criminals occupying land stolen from the kingdom. He begs Max to help end the war before it gets worse, but Max refuses. Fred then reveals that he knows the naked woman is a demon, which could make Max guilty of treason against humanity. Terrified, Fred quickly leaves, realizing that Max is being haunted by a female ghost. Flashbacks reveal that in his youth, Fred was a cleric and a con artist. However, when he was forced to help Max and Leo fight demons, he changed his ways and joined their party to protect people. The Demon Lord decides that love might motivate Max to become a hero, and offers him Zenia as a bride. However, Max turns down Zenia and all the other candidates. Frustrated, the Demon Lord transforms into his schoolgirl disguise as a joke, but finds that while in this form, he and Max are attracted to each other. The situation is only stopped when Zenia interrupts. The Demon Lord then offers to turn Max into a demon, giving him a job as a soldier with a salary of 2.5 million yen a month, and a demon soul so he can always be reborn after dying. Max refuses, fearing that he wouldn't be himself anymore. The Demon Lord hides his disappointment, having hoped that he and Max could be friends forever. Thinking about immortality, Max decides to improve his life as a human and aims to earn money by making videos and becoming an online celebrity. The Demon Lord is pleased to see Max taking initiative, but Max is disheartened when his videos don't become popular. Desperate, he starts a live stream featuring the Demon Lord in his schoolgirl disguise, but his account is soon terminated for streaming inappropriate content. In their younger years, Leo and Max competed to become the hero. In the present, the Demon Lord takes Max shopping while dressed as a schoolgirl. Max runs into his old friend Inigo, who left with Leo. She explains that they are not criminals. When Leo left the kingdom, they gave him worthless land to live on, which the people of the Gamma Republic have worked hard to turn into something valuable. However, when the land was discovered to contain magic ore, the kingdom started the war to reclaim it. Leo wants Max to join him and has invited him to visit the Gamma Republic before making a decision. Meanwhile, Will, Inigo's impatient younger brother, takes the Demon Lord hostage, believing that Max and the Demon Lord are lovers and hoping to force Max's cooperation. After throwing Will into the ocean, Max asks to be left alone. Curious, the Demon Lord hypnotizes Max long enough to get him onto an airship to visit Leo. To avoid being recognized, Max disguises himself, and they soon find Leo to be a strong, always cheerful person who is loved by his people. Max sees that Leo has not changed since their days as heroes. Fighting suddenly breaks out at the border with the kingdom. Nearby citizens say these skirmishes are common and not very noteworthy. The Demon Lord flies Max closer to the border, where they find the Republic is using a force field to protect the area. Any kingdom soldiers that attack are put to sleep with magic without harm. A powerful kingdom mage manages to breach the shield with a sniper spell, injuring Inigo. Leo drives the attacking army away, and then confronts his former mentor, Captain Galmoth, about the kingdom's selfishness. The mage shoots Leo in the neck, but Leo is unharmed and tells the mage to go back with an invitation for Fred to discuss peace when he's ready. Having seen Leo in action, the Demon Lord is pleased and prepares to teleport home. Leo, sensing the demonic magic, chases after them. Max fights Leo long enough for the Demon Lord to complete the teleportation spell. Leo recognizes Max just as they disappear, and is puzzled as to why Max would protect a demon. They arrive back home, and the Demon Lord thanks Max for protecting him while bashing the annoyed ghost on the head as they land. During the trip to the Gamma Republic, Zenia starts looking into the Bureau of Magic. After hacking their computers, she gets caught by Fred. Fred quickly recognizes her due to her mistake and demands to know what she has to do with Max. Unfortunately, Fred is then called away by Lord Grimm's, a royal minister who misses the days of heroes and suspects that Leo was tricked into leaving after being falsely accused of corruption. While Fred believes this, he still cannot forgive Leo for leaving. Grimm's is planning to propose a peace treaty with Leo, but he needs Fred's help to convince the other ministers, which Fred agrees to do. Meanwhile, Zenia is treated well by her guard, Lim, but she struggles with how to escape without causing harm. Zenia manages to get free but is caught again by Lim's fire magic. After Grimm's leaves, a bomb explodes in the building. Grimm's watches with amusement, curious to see how Fred will react to what he calls a Republic terrorist attack. Zenia decides to help the injured Lim and takes her to Max's apartment. The Demon Lord convinces Lim that he and Zenia are minor demons who were taken in by Max after the war. Fred calls Lim and, realizing she is with Max, threatens to frame Max for the bombing unless Max tells the truth. Still scared of the ghost in Max's closet, Fred sets up a meeting at a restaurant. Meanwhile, Grimm's meets with the other 8 ministers, who instruct him to persuade Fred to defeat Leo so they have a better chance of winning if they declare war. At the restaurant, Fred threatens to frame Max again unless he agrees to fight against the Republic. Max responds by threatening to join the Republic instead. Their argument ends when the Demon Lord accidentally reveals his third eye, making Fred suspicious about his true identity, but Fred lets them leave peacefully for now. Max returns home feeling satisfied with rejecting Fred, only to discover that Fred has spiked his drink with laxatives. Elsewhere, an angry Leo prepares the Republic for war, believing he has been framed for a bombing he did not order. At Grimm's insistence, Fred agrees to find a way to remove Leo. Meanwhile, Zenia keeps analyzing the information she stole from the Bureau. The kingdom announces that they plan to declare war, and quickly, the public starts blaming Max for not returning as the hero before things got so dire. Unbothered, Max goes for a walk with the Demon Lord, and they end up playing badminton with a young girl at the park. Max and the Demon Lord argue about his plan to do nothing, leaving Max uncertain about his next move. At the same time, Fred, risking his career, decides to ignore orders. Instead of quietly sneaking into the Republic to kill Leo, he makes a public invasion by himself, right in front of the media. Grimm's is furious because this makes the kingdom look like brutal invaders rather than innocent victims of Leo's so-called terrorist attacks, and the other ministers start blaming Grimm's for Fred's actions. In a forest, Fred and Leo use magic to build a giant stage for their duel, so the whole world can watch their battle to the death. In the past, Max, Fred, and Leo met Yuria, a sorceress who insisted she would defeat the Demon Lord on her own, but often ended up on the same missions with them. When she faced a necromancer she couldn't defeat by herself, they came to her rescue. In the present, Leo and Fred are locked in a fierce battle. Max pretends not to care until the Demon Lord provokes him into losing his temper, showing that he desperately wants to act, but would be forced to kill either Fred or Leo. Disappointed, the Demon Lord decides to leave Max, saying he won't return. He then appears between Fred and Leo, announcing that he's back to restart the war and publicly challenges Max to fight him before he kills both Fred and Leo. However, Fred easily knocks the Demon Lord out. Max, now more furious than ever, grabs his sword and rushes across the city to join the fight. Unfortunately, he mistimes his surprise attack and ends up being knocked out by both Fred and Leo at the same time. In the past, after the necromancer fled, Yuria reluctantly joined the hero party, admitting they had become friends. In the past, Yuria predicted that if Fred and Leo ever fought, it would be a disaster only Max could prevent. In the present, Yuria watches the battle while giving birth to her second child. Max recovers from being knocked out, and the 3 friends express their frustrations before fighting each other. After 10 years of retirement, Max is badly out of practice. He considers giving up but remembers a battle they almost lost against Dragon King Behemoth. Yuria had cast a powerful spell called Maximum Drive on Max, which defeated Behemoth in a single blow. With the talisman Yuria gave him for emergencies, Max manages to cast Maximum Drive on himself and takes on Fred and Leo again. Fred realizes that their fight won't end the war, but still decides to win the battle. Meanwhile, the Demon Lord recovers just in time to stop Fred's spell, allowing Max to win the fight. In front of the world media, Max apologizes for the trouble his friends caused and urges both the kingdom and the Republic to find a peaceful way to end the war. The Demon Lord watches Max with pride. The Demon Lord throws a big party to celebrate Max, which upsets the ghost. Zenia gets tricked by an online scam that steals the files she took from the Magic Bureau. Thanks to Max's actions, the public turns against the war, leading the kingdom and republic to make peace. Fred is feeling down, so Lim tries to cheer him up by showing him Max's awful videos. However, this only frightens Fred when the ghost emerges from the screen and grabs him. The kingdom ministers are split on what to do and eventually decide to fire Fred. Meanwhile, the files leaked from Zenia's computer lead to Grimm's being arrested for embezzlement, which the other ministers are pleased about. Even though Fred was just fired, he is promoted to replace Grimm's as a minister. Max is swarmed by reporters, which Yuria, who is the mother of the girl Max and the Demon Lord played badminton with, watches with amusement. After ending the war, Max hopes the Demon Lord will finally leave. However, the Demon Lord says Max still has a long way to go before he can be called a hero again and decides to stay with Max indefinitely. And this is all for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.